Hey, it's from Bark and welcome back to the Garage Kitchen. Today I'm going to be doing an overview of the LEM 5 Tray Dehydrator. This is basically a knockoff of the American-made Excalibur model, which I would have liked to have purchased, but the price was considerably more, and I wasn't 100% sure at the time that I was going to want to do a whole lot of dehydrating. So I got this one at a significant discount to see if I like doing it first. And it turns out I do. This is a pretty nice machine, real simple to use, and so far no complaints about it. I've been dehydrating, oh boy, a few days a week for about the last 6 weeks. So I'm really getting to know this machine pretty good. Now this is kind of a big unit. It does take up, I mean it's 14 by 14 like this far, and then there's the heating element in the back. So it's not so bad to use in the garage, but if you have it in the house, it's going to eat up a lot of counter space. Another reason for using this in the garage is that whatever you put in here is it's just gonna throw the flavor or smell all over the place. So I did a batch of red beans and rice, and your house smells like red beans and rice for the next 2 days. So a garage is a good place for one of these if you can wrangle it out there. This is the 5 tray version, so you get trays in just like this. It comes in I want to say a 10 or a 14 tray. I went for the 5, one because price, and 2 because the reviews on the taller version weren't as good because apparently the fan didn't heat as evenly across the whole space as it did with the 5. So I went with the 5. The trays are really easy to pull out. One thing I like about them is you can pull them out and they will sit like this, and you can load them like this, and you can check what you want. It does heat more from the back than it does in the front, so it's going to dry from the back to the front. So if you got time, you just come out, spin the tray around, and stick it back in. It's super easy to do, much easier than rotating trays on the round dehydrator. And then on the bottom, you can see I have a messy catch tray. The stuff that falls through the holes is going to catch right down there in that tray, so that works out pretty good. And then another nice thing is this door folds down, and you can see I gotta clean that up. But if you have stuff on here and you pull out to look at it, and the movement makes it fall down, it will catch right here, and that's easier to clean up than your floor. The controls on this are pretty straightforward. You just have your on-off button. You turn it on to illuminate the timers. You got hours and minutes. I don't really know why you would need to use the minutes. I can't imagine anybody is dehydrating that precisely, but you just type in what you want. It's kind of hard to see. Well, the camera's not letting you see the number good, but you just put in whatever number of hours you want and hit start. And then over here we have the temperature control, which is pretty much the same as you're going to find on most dehydrators, and the settings are all the same. It goes down as low as 95, and then you can, oops, I got it. This is the business end. But you're pretty much going to be living in the 135 to 165 range, depending on if you're doing veggies or meat. I already own one of these Nesco style round dehydrators, and it does the job okay, but they're really kind of a pain in the butt to operate, because if you want to check anything inside, you have to lift your heating element off. Well, at least in this one, some of them blow up from the bottom. And then you have to lift all the trays out if you want to rotate your stuff. The other thing that I don't like about this style, let me get these out of the way, is that they're hard to take your product off of. Now if you're doing big things like big pieces of fruit or big pieces of jerky, it's not a big deal to pick them off. But if you're doing small things that you want to pour off, it's really difficult to harvest small items off of here. So works okay, but I don't like it that much. Now, the reason I decided to get a dehydrator is because I wanted to take food camping, but Mountain House is expensive and salty as heck. And I started seeing people on YouTube making their own backpacking meals, and I was like, oh man, I could do that. For example, this is a $4 bag of fire roasted vegetable blend, bell peppers, onions, corn, and black beans. $4 for 1.48 ounces. This is the Southwestern blend that I got out of the freezer case at the store. This is 2 bags. When I dried it down, it's 3.9 ounces at a cost of $5. So if you just learn to do this yourself, you can save a lot of money if you're getting this kind of thing. Now, of course, I mean, This has a nice pouch that you can cook it in, and it's sealed up. So I mean, you know, there's some benefits to this, but a lot of the stuff you can do yourself. Okay, this has been dehydrating for about 12 hours. This is my hamburger that I dehydrated. And it looks a little shiny because I tried a technique where you put breadcrumbs in, and I think the breadcrumbs absorb the oil a little bit, giving it that sheen. So I'm probably going to refrigerate this for storage, but it'll be fine for a few days without. This is my chili, and this is almost the whole pot reduced down onto 3 trays. I ate 1 bowl myself, so I'll get that packaged up. This is a can of pineapple, and it's been on here for, probably 14-15 hours, and it's still pretty pliable. If I was going to use this for long term, I would probably dry it a little farther, but I'm going to go ahead and just leave it a little bit soft because I'm going to eat it right away. So I'm going to go ahead and rehydrate some of the fettuccine alfredo that I dehydrated, and we're going to see how that turns out. It's been about 15 minutes over low heat. It's not quite as creamy as it was straight out of the jar. I did taste it. It tastes pretty good. I took a couple big bitefuls of it. I forgot to taste it before I dehydrated it, so I can't compare how much difference it tastes. It has plenty of good taste, and I just put a little pepper on it, and that's helping a little bit. Well, tender, pretty nice.